Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we are really tearing into a story built on, well, the ultimate expression of Sith ambition. It's defined by this one brutal idea. People were either predators or prey.
That philosophy, yeah, it's stark. That binary view is pretty much the foundation for everything we're looking at in the sources today. We're tracking a secret agent, codenamed Starkiller,
Right.
trained since he was just a kid by Darth Vader himself, meant to be the Emperor's deadliest weapon. But here's the kicker. Vader's actual plan was to turn this weapon against the Emperor.
The classic Sith betrayal plot. So we're drawing on narrative excerpts that detail the rise, the really intense rise, and maybe even more intense fall, of this secret apprentice.
Exactly.
And our mission for you, the listener, is to kind of unpack these complex layers, loyalty, survival, this emerging sense of morality, focusing on the huge irony here, how this calculated, deeply evil plan unintentionally sparked the massive movement we know as the Rebel Alliance.
It's almost like a masterclass in strategic failure, isn't it? The Sith rely on betrayal, and that very reliance becomes the spark of hope they were trying to snuff out. It's quite something.
Okay, let's get into the secret weapon himself first. Starkiller, Vader's prodigy, trained solely as an assassin. His job, taking out the Emperor's internal rivals, spies, thieves, high-ranking traitors, you name it.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is his mindset about it. The sources say he didn't see it as just killing. He saw his victims as vermin that gnawed at the footings of the Empire's magnificent edifice.
Wow, that quote really frames it. So he was raised not just to kill, but to genuinely believe the Empire was this, necessary grand structure.
Absolutely. And what fueled that? His core training was pure dark side philosophy. Turn fear into anger, and then channel that anger into power. It's all he knew for accessing strength.
But the whole point, the apprenticeship, it was never really about serving the Empire long term, was it?
Not at all. It was about grabbing power. Vader's strategy was pretty straightforward. Build up their combined strength until they could take on Palpatine.
And Starkiller just accepted this.
Seems like it. He viewed it as a basic rule of life, almost. You get strong enough, you take the throne. Simple predator logic.
Which makes the introduction of Captain Juno Eclipse so important. She's the pilot of this specialized ship, the Rogue Shadow.
Right, and the ship itself is like a symbol of the whole plot. It's designed to look totally unremarkable, just some small transport, perfect cover.
But inside?
Inside, it's got a top-tier hyperdrive, a cloaking system. Deception is literally built into the hardware of the operation.
And Juno herself, she brings a lot of baggage to the table. Hired by Vader right after this incident, the source is called the catastrophe on Kalos.
Yeah, precision strike she was part of that spiraled into genocide, ecological disaster, heavy stuff.
So she's carrying immense guilt. And that's layered onto this pre-existing, strong anti-Jedi prejudice, apparently fueled by her father. He called them traitors, all of them.
That guilt is the leverage Vader uses, you see. She feels responsible for Kalos. And Vader gives her this chance to serve, cementing her debt to the Empire. A debt she probably felt was righteous because, well, the Jedi were gone. The galaxy was in chaos in her view.
So we've got the physical and emotional setup for this grand betrayal. Now we need to track how the cracks start showing, right? Both in Starkiller and in Juno.
Exactly. The psychological stress starts to build. Starkiller gets sent to hunt surviving Jedi, but he's never actually met one face-to-face.
So his first duel, the one Juno sees,
It's against his training droid, PROXY. This droid can project incredibly realistic holograms, including one Juno sort of recognizes as looking like the man who had once been among the most famous Jedi in the galaxy.
Hold on, PROXY. That's a really chilling detail. I mean, Starkiller's entire concept of a Jedi is basically a simulation crafted by Vader. He's trained to hate and kill a ghost, essentially.
Precisely. His whole worldview is manufactured. But the first real wobble, the first sign of maybe moral conflict, happens when a mission goes sideways. Vader gives him this shocking order. Kill everyone aboard. Imperials and insurgents alike. Leave no witnesses.
Okay, but why this order? He's already killed Imperials Vader labeled as traitors. Why does killing loyal Imperials suddenly cause him genuine unease, as the sources put it?
Because it breaks the rules of the game he thought he was playing. Up till then, the killing served a purpose within the system, getting rid of weak links, consolidating power for Vader,
Right, part of the magnificent edifice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This new order feels like chaos, self-destructive. It undermines the very structure he thinks he's protecting. He wonders if it's a test, maybe of his dedication to the ultimate goal, challenging the Emperor, but the logic just feels off to him.
And meanwhile, Juno's fighting her own internal battle. Still haunted by Kalos, she secretly looks up her restricted psych profile.
And finds it's already marked. Spy, traitor, executed. The Empire already sees her as disposable.
Oh.
Yeah. And then she overhears it, the explicit plan. Vader and Starkiller intend to betray the Emperor. Her first reaction, dismisses it, calls it preposterous.
She can't accept it.
She's too invested psychologically in her loyalty to Vader. He's the one who sort of redeemed her after callous in her mind. She just can't process that he'd commit the ultimate treason. But the doubt is planted, irrevocably for both of them.
So the storm is gathering. Which brings us to a big shift in targets. Vader thins Starkiller after Jedi Master Rom Koda.
Koda, yeah, he's key. Described as a military genius. And he survived Order 66 by doing something really unusual, relying entirely on his own troops, not clones.
That detail about non-clone troops, it feels significant, like an embedded critique.
I think so, yeah. It suggests that real loyalty, faith outside the rigid manufactured Imperial system, that's what actually protects you. Koda's kind of the opposite of the Empire's manufactured loyalty.
And during their duel, Starkiller gets hit with this powerful vision. Koda's face changes, just for a moment, into another man, not dissimilar to the apprentice's own.
Whoa. Yeah, that moment of foresight, or maybe it's suppressed memory, it throws him off completely.
And that distraction leads to his first big failure, right? He beats Koda, but the general falls into the planet's atmosphere. No body secured.
Right, and Starkiller, he just can't report failure. So what does he do? He follows his Sith training, turns that despair and frustration over losing the body into pure rage, which, fuels his power.
But something else is happening, too. Something that doesn't fit the dark side mold.
Exactly. He's struggling with this new feeling, this connection with Juno. He actually finds himself feeling praise and gladness towards her. Emotions, the sources specifically say, were not encouraged by followers of the dark side.
That connection, it's like the first real flaw in Vader's plan, isn't it?
It absolutely is. It's the human element messing with the Sith calculus. Maybe to counteract that, Vader sends him on his darkest mission yet, hunting Jedi Master Sci-Fi on Felucia.
Felucia. The world described as naturally balanced in the Force, and T's presence is the only thing keeping it from being consumed by darkness.
And Starkiller succeeds. He kills her. But as she's dying, Shaktin delivers the line that basically defines the whole plot. Her final words. The Sith always betray one another, but I'm sure you'll learn that soon enough.
That should have been a massive red flag for Starkiller. A moment of, oh, wait.
You'd think. But the dark side still has its grip. He learns it all right. Very soon, in fact.
Which brings us right to the Great Deception, Part 4. The moment that prophecy bites, Starkiller's lured into a trap. Vader stabs him right in front of the Emperor, leaves him for dead, it seems.
With Athold's surprise. The game's not over. Vader secretly scoops him up, takes him to this station, the Empirical, and rebuilds him over 6 months.
He wakes up, physically perfect, scars gone.
Totally healed, and gets the real command. The mission's flipped entirely. Vader tells him, you must assemble an army to oppose him. We will use them to occupy the Emperor and his spies.
So the rebellion itself, it's designed to be bait. High-profile bait to draw out the Emperor's spies and forces?
Precisely. Pure manipulation. The genius, if you can call it that, is Vader doesn't need Starkiller to hate the Emperor now. He just needs him to believe in this new mission.
And the first act of that mission is deeply personal. Freeing Juno. She'd been imprisoned, branded a traitor.
Right. And he just tells her straight up, I'm leaving the Empire behind, and I need a pilot. That's the moment, really. His true psychological break, even if the mission itself is still a setup.
And he starts using Koda's lightsaber, the green one.
Yeah. The symbol of the Jedi he was supposed to hate becomes his tool for rebellion. It's potent symbolism.
So he starts gathering the leaders, finds General Koda on Bespin, blinded now, alcoholic.
A wreck. But Starkiller saves him from Imperials, proves he's serious about fighting the Empire, gives the cynical old general a flicker of hope again.
Then the gathering continues, focused on building trust and visibility, right? He rescues Senator Bail Organa's daughter, Leia, from Kashyyyk.
And while he's there, he takes out a major Imperial skyhook used for Wookiee slave transport. A big tactical blow.
And it's on Kashyyyk he has this realization about the Wookiees and their family bonds.
Yeah, the sources highlight this. He notes the irony of these fierce family ties. The very thing the Jedi Order gave up seeking detached power, only for their order to be destroyed by betrayal within their own ranks, Anakin and the clones.
It's like the narrative is really emphasizing a shift in philosophy. The Jedi path of detachment failed. The Sith path of selfish attachment leads to betrayal. Starkiller's learning connection might be the key.
Seems like it. Connection as a source of light side strength, even connection to a Wookiee family he just met. To really seal the deal, though, He needs a massive show of force.
The shipyard strike.
Exactly. Destroys a major Star Destroyer shipyard over Raxus Prime, an undeniable act of war. It shows the dissidents he's serious, gains their trust.
And it works. Starkiller, Coda, Juno, they meet with the big three. Senators Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, Garm Bel Iblis on Corellia.
And they agree. They'll follow his lead. They formally found the alliance to restore the Republic.
The ultimate political win for them. But then, the other shoe drops. Part 5, the big betrayal finally plays out.
Just as the alliance is formalized, Vader shows up. Emperor's fleet right behind him. Shake T's prediction comes true. The whole thing was a setup.
Vader spells it out.
Oh yeah. Declares Starkiller was bait all along. His spies followed you here. Goes Coda aside like trash. Orders the senators taken alive for the Emperor's personal execution.
Crushing. Starkiller, or Galen, he starts using his real name now, right? He must be physically and emotionally shattered.
Completely. But this is it. The crucible moment. His redemption. Driven by genuine concern for his friends, for Juno and Coda especially, he taps into the Force itself, not the dark side.
And the power is different.
The sources say it far surpasses his training. Its strength coming from selflessness, connection. He generates this huge energy surge, damages Vader, creates the chaos they need.
But the bigger threat is still looming. Juno follows the ship carrying the captured rebel to the Death Star construction site.
That's right. And Galen gets a vision, sees its horrific purpose. A super weapon powered by Tabana gas.
Ibana gas. That's used everywhere for power, so weaponizing it on that scale.
It shows the sheer scale of destruction planned. Planet-killing capability. The ultimate enforcement of that predator or prey philosophy.
So Galen confronts them, Vader and the Emperor. He tells Vader something powerful. I will kill you to set you free.
Heartbreaking clarity in that moment, isn't it? He wounds Vader, but the Emperor, the lightning is just too much. He's overwhelmed.
But his final act.
His final act defines everything. Uses every last bit of his life force, becomes this beacon of pure light, empowers Coda somehow, creates this massive distraction.
Allowing the rebels to get to the rogue shadow and escape.
Yes, and the Emperor watches them go and maybe misreads the situation. He says the apprentices' sacrifice will only inspire them. He thinks it's a fleeting thing.
But he's wrong. That inspiration becomes the foundation. And just before the escape, Galen tells Juno his real name.
Galen.
Yeah.
A person, not just a weapon, codenamed Starkiller.
So the escaping rebels, Organa, Mothma, Bel Iblis, Juno, they gather back on Kashyyyk, in that old hut from Galen's memories.
The very place. Painful memories, but now a place of new beginnings. They agree right there, that night, to officially found the alliance. His sacrifice cements it.
And the symbol.
Princess Leia chooses it. A family crest etched into the wood of that hut, a sleek, stylized raptor. It becomes the symbol of the rebellion, a symbol of hope born directly from his sacrifice.
So the grand irony is just perfect. The Sith's master plan to destroy the Emperor's enemies didn't just fail, it required creating the very force that would eventually challenge the Empire.
Exactly. And Vader's ultimate act of Sith betrayal, sacrificing his own apprentice, that was the catalyst. It gave the rebellion its formal start, its symbol, its inspiration.
Wild. So we've clearly seen how power that comes from anger and fear, that Sith model, it just eats itself. It guarantees betrayal, just like Chektu said.
But we also saw power rooted in connection, in sacrifice. Power that could, well, literally push Star Destroyers around.
Which leaves us, and you, the listener, with a pretty big question, building on what the Emperor predicted. It's not just how the galaxy was saved in this instance, but maybe, can pure, selfless action like Galen's sacrifice rooted in his bond with his friends ever really be part of a successful long-term political or military strategy?
Or is the Emperor right in a cynical way? Is that kind of sacrifice doomed to be just a momentary inspiration eventually ground down by the mechanics of calculated power and, well, evil?
A profound thought indeed, on war, politics, power, and hope.
Definitely a lot to think about there.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into loyalty, betrayal, and the unlikely spark that ignited a galactic rebellion.